Everybody, Chef AJ here with my friend Thomas Allen, the owner of California Balsamics. Thanks for stopping by.
I'm on my way to Fountain Hills, Arizona. You're right on the way here, so it's easy squeezy.
Tell them where you're going to be in case they're nearby.
We have a festival this weekend in Fountain Hills, right by in Arizona, right outside of Phoenix, just north a little bit. Beautiful area with a fountain. That's why it's called Fountain Hills. And we've been going to this show twice a year for the last 16 years. Be about 250,000 people at the event.
So go taste all his wonderful flavors and mention my name, Chef AJ, and get 2 small samples.
We give out 2 little freebies to all Chefites. When you buy anything from us, you get 2 cute little freebie sample boxes.
And that includes online too.
Yes,
so
exactly
why
right.
are we here? So Thomas just got back from Sacramento where he heard Dr. Michael Greger speak, and I'm a big fan of Dr. Michael Greger, and he has a new book called How Not to Diet. And in his book, he has these 21 tweaks to accelerate weight loss, and he recommends 2 tablespoons of vinegar a day. And so I'm going to show you guys how to make it delicious using California Balsamic. Because, you could do apple cider vinegar, but it doesn't taste good to me.
Apple cider vinegar is 6% acidity, and it's so tart. It just makes my jaw hurt thinking about that kind of tart balsamic.
California Balsamics are about 4%, right?
4% balsamic vinegar. They're all made in Modena, Italy, and we import drums of white and dark balsamic vinegar, and then we simply flavor it with whatever we can, as many fresh ingredients as possible.
Right, and there's no sugar. There's no sugar added. The sweetness comes from grapes, right?
Yes, it's all grape juice.
So this is my set. We're going to make a beverage, a dessert, and an entree. So the entree is called curried broccoli rice. And I'll tell you a little story how I invented this dish. But the first thing we want to do is cook our broccoli. So like I say, start to finish, 7 minutes. In this case, it's going to be 4 because I already cooked my bag of frozen organic rice. I love this little Pampered Chef micro steamer. I've got a little bit of liquid in the bottom, some pot liquor. And I'm going to put it in the microwave for 4 minutes while I continue the recipe live. So I have 2 scallions in this bowl that I cut up. I actually had this for dinner last night because I teach on Wednesday nights and I don't have a lot of time. And you can do white, you can do brown, you can do quinoa because all the stores now have these little bags of organic grains, 3 minutes in your microwave. And I'm using the Trader Joe's organic broccoli because I love it. And then what we're going to add to it is a 1/4 cup of yellow raisins.
Tasty.
And we're going to add our curried balsamic vinegar. This is my if I had to pick one flavor, this is my very favorite flavor. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons to get in our Dr. Greger's minimum daily requirement. Show them the secret.
Whenever you have the balsamic vinegar with the curry or the dill mustard seed, there's several with a lot of fresh ingredients.
Basil or the
cilantro, yeah, all those flavors. When you shake a bottle and it's full, there's going to be a layer of curry in the bottom and a layer of curry in the neck. The most effective way to blend it is to shake it back and forth like this really well. Make sure the cap is on tight. You don't want to marinate this beautiful kitchen. Back and forth like that, and that blends it beautifully.
Yeah, this stuff is amazing. This is, I mean, this will make all your food tasty.
I would never have made that if Chef AJ hadn't asked me to.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, yes, it's more expensive than buying, a Costco vinegar, but they're so flavorful that you don't need more than a couple tablespoons. I mean, you can always add more, but for me, 2 tablespoons for this dish, which is Dr. Greger's daily recommendation, is just perfect because they're so full of flavor.
And you can drizzle teaspoons on just a little bit of vegetables, or anything else you want to put that on.
What's your thought about, because I had this question I wasn't sure how to answer, like when you cook it, can you cook with vinegar or is it only allowed to be added at the end?
You can cook with it, but cooking anything reduces the overall intensity of the flavor.
Just even if it's salt. That's why I always say add things at the end.
So put it on at the very end. I always say cook your vegetables any way you want, make your salads any way you want, and then drizzle just over the top when it's on it's called a finishing sauce. The meal is finished, finishing sauce over the top. Thank you very much.
Because I love to roast Brussels sprouts in balsamic vinegar. That's like just incredible.
That caramelizes. I grill kebabs. Ethel and I, we have our grill with all sorts of veggies and pineapple and fruit on the sticks. And then we just brush a little balsamic while it's cooking so that it caramelizes. We love that.
Oh man, these balsamic vinegars are a game changer, and they're all sugar-free, oil-free, salt-free. The vinegars. It has one flavor with a tiny bit of maple syrup, and full disclosure, the apple pie, but everything else is Chef AJ approved. While we're waiting for the broccoli to finish, one way to get your vinegar in and also reduce your sugar consumption, especially if you're somebody still drinking soda, is to make what I call an Italian soda. So you take your favorite sparkling water, pour it in a glass. And Dr. Greger says you really want to have your vinegar with food, you know, while you're having a meal. So, and then I'm going to use the peach because I love it. And whether you use 1 tablespoon or 2, it's really going to be up to you. For me, 1 is enough. This is sweet enough. I only use 1. But if somebody is eating the standard American diet and their palate is such, they might need 2.
Yep.
You have to make sure you stir it because
the vinegar is heavier than the water. It goes down to the bottom. It's just a nice light little churn. Don't want to mess up all the cute little bubbles.
And at about 28 calories a tablespoon, you have now a delicious soda.
There you are.
20. Would you like a piece of ice in that, sir? I can be happy.
We do have a question. How long do the vinegars last?
Use them up in 18 months is always safe.
18 months. Yeah, they won't last that long, trust me. So peach is one of the best ones for a soda. Also, what's delicious is the Simply Lemon. Really, any of the fruity flavors: pear, blackberry, raspberry, strawberry.
And you can use the dark balsamic like fig, apricot, pomegranate. It will make
cherry.
The cherry would do very well. It'll just make the water turn brownish.
Just don't use the blazing habanero for your soda because we don't think that's going to taste very good.
Now, blazing habanero has got fresh garlic, fresh serranos, and fresh habaneros, and lots of them. I think it's too hot for me. I'm from the Midwest in Michigan originally. We never had hot things. There's another flavor called Sweet Heat. That's about 1/4 the intensity of heat. So
my top 3 favorites are curry, Sweet Heat, and smoked hickory.
So we're getting a question of they want to see the label and they want to know where to get it.
Okay, we're going to tell them, but can I just show how I drain the broccoli real quick? We're going to tell them everything in the description. So I'm just going to drain actually the broth, the pot liquor. And so what I do.
Do you use the liquid for flavor?
I use it for flavor and I drink it because it's like, to me, it's like Red Bull. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my bag of
broccoli bowl.
Yep. And so what I do is because I cook the broccoli soft, I'm kind of going to smush it around. And so I invented this dish when I was having a problem opening my jaw, and the dentist didn't really know what it was. He said it wasn't TMJ, but I could barely open my mouth, so I had to create food that was small enough to fit in. And this was so good. And again, you can cook your broccoli shorter or longer, but I'm just trying to get it kind of flaked and mixed in. I usually do this with white rice, believe it or not, because I'm a big fan of white rice. But
I lived in Japan for 3 years, and we had white rice and brown rice every day.
Yep, rice is the best.
Vanessa is asking, are there sulfites in the vinegars?
You have to catch me making the dish. I'm adding the scallions.
Sulfites are naturally occurring in grape juice and in wine and in balsamic vinegar. Not a lot, but you cannot take them out because they're naturally occurring. Yes.
So there I'm getting the Dr. Greger recommended 2 tablespoons of vinegar with the most flavorful, delicious one, curry. Yep, and people worry about the sugar, but there's not. The sugar comes from grapes, right?
It's all grape juice. And the better quality balsamic vinegars have what's called grape must. The balsamic vinegar is aged in Modena, Italy, but then if you want to speed up the thickening and aspect of vinegar, then you can add grape juice that's been boiled down, and that's called grape must. And they judge balsamic vinegar in Italy by the sweetness and the tartness of it. What's the acidity level? And that's the better quality balsamic vinegars are much lower acidity and sweeter.
Well, they taste better. I don't know how people eat the 6%. You know, I know it's cheaper, but it doesn't taste very good to me.
My wife is Hungarian, darling Ethel, and she can eat tablespoons of tart vinegar just because that's how she grew up.
Now, does white balsamic come from green grapes and dark balsamic come from purple grapes? Is that how it works?
Actually, that is right. But it's the skins of the dark red grapes that make the balsamic vinegar black, because you have to boil the balsamic for many, many hours to reduce the water content of it. And during the boiling process, they have the skins are left in the dark red skins are left in the vat during the boiling process, and that simply turns the liquid black.
Cool. So here's our delicious curried broccoli rice that took 7 minutes to make exactly. It's got our 2 tablespoons of curry balsamic. If you want, you're allowed to put a little more over the top. You can. No, there's no no rule
Always
about that.
always start with a little and add more to taste, because you can always add more. It just
Can't take it back.
Right.
So here we have our delicious entree. We have our soda. And now, how about our dessert? So, sweet potato sundae. So what I did
Lovely.
is I macerated berries. And what macerated literally just means is to soften. People think the only way you can macerate fruit is with sugar, and that's not true. You could use any liquid, even water, but why not use something really flavorful? So what I did is to 1 cup of blueberries, I macerated them in 1 tablespoon
So you
of
just squished them up
Well,
out
I
there?
didn't even
is it?
squish it. I just
mix
stirred
it up.
and I put it in the
Oh.
you put it in the fridge for a few hours or
Right.
overnight. And if you want it thicker, you can always add a little bit of chia seeds to thicken it up. And so now we have these delicious blueberries that have been macerated in raspberry.
I was always
balsamic.
under the impression maceration would mean, chopping them up
Nope.
into little itty bitty pieces.
Nope, not
Oh,
at
okay.
all. And so now I have here a Japanese sweet potato, which I have roasted. I actually have a couple that are air fried and nice and crisp. So usually I do this with the air fried ones, but I know not everybody has an air fryer, but most people have a way to cook. And so then you take the blueberries and you put it in the
Holy
potato,
moly.
and it is the most delicious thing you've ever eaten. And then again, I'm pretty low on raspberry, but
I know where I can get them.
what you can do is always just squeeze a little more over the top. And so having this and this, those are my 2 tablespoons a day that Dr. Greco recommends, or having 1 delicious curried rice bowl, those are my 2
Nice.
tablespoons. Hopefully you'll enjoy more than 2 tablespoons with this wide array. Oh, by the way, there's nothing as delicious as taking cooked sweet potatoes, whether they're air fried or not, and dipping them in a flavor. I love for this using either sweet heat or blazing habanero.
Yep.
So these are great. So go to the website, CaliforniaBalsamic.com. With any order, you don't get to, people mistake free samples with like they don't have to do anything. You actually have to buy something, but it doesn't matter. Even the tiniest order,
Yep.
if you put my
One
name,
little bottle.
yeah, that's the smallest order you can get. What's great about these bottles, guys, is they're exactly 3 ounces. They don't break, and they get through TSA, so you can
No.
have.
Don't take more than what you can put into a quart-size Ziploc baggie. We had a young lady who had about 8 of them, and she said that she, even though she had them in a big bag, a gallon bag, the TSA said, no, can't have that. But every TSA agent, there's leeway. Some people said I've taken 8 or 9.
I've had
Other
4.
people-
I've never had a problem with 4,
Right.
and they weren't even in a bag. They were just in my carry-on.
So safest thing to do is have a quart-size baggie with as many, with however many of these will fit in it, and then that will go through carry-on luggage.
And even if you put it in your regular luggage, what's great is they don't break. And so these are great. And with any order, if you go to what's called the Leave Us a Message box, put in my name, Chef AJ, you'll get 2 free 1.8 ounce samples. There's these cute little bottles that look like the liquor bottles that are
Yeah,
on
on the
airline.
plane.
Yeah.
Now, the Leave Us a Message box is at the very top of the checkout page. Don't use autofill. If you use autofill, it takes you to the bottom. You don't see that box. It's at the very top. Just to the right of where you'll type in your name is a little box called Comments, Promotions, Leave Us a Message. In that box, type Chef AJ, and then tell us what you'd like for your 2 freebies.
Because he's not a mind reader, you know?
We'd much rather let you choose the 2 freebies than us choosing for you.
And this is a great way if you can't get to a live festival to try a flavor that you might think is not going to be something that
Right.
you love already. But again, there's a little Chef AJ sampler with my favorite. Really, we met each other because I had heard of his teriyaki vinegar, and I couldn't believe it because it had no salt. And how do you? And that's so I have lots of videos on YouTube showing how I use
Yeah.
your products, doing things like stir fry. So they're really incredible. What I love about your products is there's lots of good vinegar stores. Let's face it, we have them in the desert. I teach there. I love balsamic vinegar, but you have so many savory flavors, and I'm really more into the savory than the sweet, especially because I don't use oil, sugar, and salt. They're more like I use them as sauces more than, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we want to come up with more savory flavors, and we would love your opinions on what to do. We want to try to consider, we're going to make 1 batch of an onion balsamic, juicing the onion and putting the juice of the onion into the vinegar.
Wow.
We haven't made it yet. We're going to try. Chef tells me
Mint.
that
I want mint.
she wants mint. I'm going to take a pound of mint,
mint.
and put it in the food processor and give that a shot, see what that tastes like in the white and the dark. I'll have to see what works best.
What's interesting about your vinegars as opposed to some other companies is that you actually put the thing in there. It's not just the flavor. So like the basil, the dill, the cilantro.
fresh
You
ingredients.
actually see it. It's
Yeah.
not just a flavor.
And you've got to
yeah.
shake the daylights out of it. I put my finger over the top, my thumb on the bottom, and go back and forth with the fresh
you did
herb
a good
flavors.
job on this one, Chris.
That's
Yeah.
some good shaking.
Well, this is my favorite. So if you have any more questions, let us know. Otherwise,
Let's see, they just want to know what website they go to again.
It's easy, CaliforniaBalsamic.com. That's it. Spell out the word California, and that's it. So CaliforniaBalsamic.com. There's a telephone number on there. You can always call me whenever anyone calls the
He actually
business.
answers his
This phone rings,
I couldn't
and
believe
I
it.
answer it
I couldn't
every
believe
time.
it. Customer service to a new level. You make the rest of us look bad.
That's how I would want to be treated as a customer. When I call a company, I want to speak to somebody who knows what they're talking about. And you'll speak with me anytime you call us.
And if you're in Arizona this weekend, check him out live because there's nothing funner than tasting all the flavors.
We do festivals from San Diego to Seattle. So go on our website on the events page. You'll see festivals, and we're going to put all of our festivals on the site for the rest of the year.
I met you at the Harvest Festival in
Ventura.
Ventura.
Yep, we'll be at that one again. So we do 4 shows in Southern California, a bunch of them in the Bay Area, one in north of Seattle, a little town of Anacortes, and then 4 shows in the Phoenix area this weekend and next month in Tempe. So you'll be able to see where we're going to be and swing on by and sample them because sampling is the key.
So thank you so much, Thomas.
Didn't hurt a bit. I'm looking forward to trying this. This looks fantastic.
Say goodbye, Bailey.
Bye, Bailey.
Thanks, guys. Take care.